Welcome everyone, and we're very lucky to be joined by our expert panelists this evening to pick our club team of the last 20 years. We're joined by Robbie McMinn, Arlene Boyles, Bridget Cleland and Ali McNeil. Okay, so the format is we're picking our first 11 of the last 20 years. Can't have been capped by Ireland, and those are the rules. So we'll get started. We're very lucky that we've got plenty of knowledge and expertise in the group this evening. Hopefully some non-bias reporting. So we'll start with you, Robbie. We'll go through the goalies first. Off you go.
Goalies, I think probably big standout would be Sharon Moffat from Pegasus and all the titles they won. Obviously, a lot of coaches would say you build your success on defence and so on, and you somebody like Sharon who's so rock steady all the time there, and having seen her work with the juniors since, like the quality she gets out of them as well. The other one I had sort of thought of was Lisa Costley from her time at Lurgan. I know you and Arlene would know her from with the Irish setup, where they're helping with some of the fitness and so on. Again, very agile, big communicator, fast feet, and that from what I saw of Lisa times. So they'd be the two that I'd be putting forward.
Okay, Arlene?
Yeah, I mean, good on you, Robbie, for picking Sharon. I'll not be biased then and select her first. Someone said in front of her for many years. She certainly kept me right, and she knew exactly where. If Sharon told me to run up a tree, I'd run up a tree. So yeah, she definitely. The other person that I kind of jumped out for me, certainly in my years of playing, was Emma Tegarty from Randallstown. I've kind of gone with her a little bit on that one. There's been there's so many. So yeah, I mean, Emma, I always thought was Robbie was talking about agile and what have you, and the qualities that you need for a goalkeeper. So I mean, Emma would have always jumped out at me. She certainly saved enough penalty corners of mine. So yeah, my two would be Sharon Moffat and Emma Tegarty.
Perfect. Bridget?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with Arlene more, really. This is the first time for everything, Arlene, to be agreeing with you, isn't it?
I mean, I know it's being recorded, but I'd like a copy of this, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone can look past Sharon Moffat. She's been such a dominant character, really, in Ulster Hockey over the years, and obviously has had a lot of success with Pegasus. Sharon has such an ability to read a game, and as Arlene says, is a great communicator. And she's just a great girl with a great attitude, and very professional and passionate about what she does. But personally, I love playing against her because you always got a good bit of crack with her and a laugh and a joke at the end of the game. And also then Emma Tegarty was another that stood out for me. Just her athletic ability, really, and quite vocal, and just quite dominant in her presence, really, in the circle. So Sharon and Emma would be the two I would agree with.
Okay, Ali?
I'm not far off that either. Again, Sharon. I mean, I first came across Sharon at Ballyclare Ladies, and I thought, who is this 14, 15-year-old kid that could talk? I never heard a child talk as much and communicate with the back four ever.
She's still going, Holly.
Absolutely, and you just see straight away she had so much talent and so much potential. And she was very athletic, I felt, between the sticks as well, you know. One big thing was the work rate she put in at training. She just didn't turn up and stand and do nothing. She made herself work, and she had herself well organised, well drilled, and she knew exactly what she was at. So I think the rest of you have said all you have about her as well. So she was the first one for me. Second one was probably something I'm going to throw in there, Ashley McElroy. I don't know if any of you remember Ashley McElroy. Ashley came through the age groups, again, a fantastic potential. Went to Queen's, and I know they felt very highly of her. and I think then actually ended up at ours, you know.
Mhm.
But great goalkeeper, good between the sticks, very athletic, great shot stopper. She's just one I want to throw into the mix there as well. That would be my two, Sharon and Ashley.
All right, so good start. I think we're maybe fairly unanimous there that Sharon deserves our goalkeeper spot. I think she had 4 votes there out of 4, so can't go wrong there. Everyone in agreement?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay, so move on to back 4. So Arlene, we'll start with you this time. What would be your top 2?
Yeah, I struggled a little bit with this one. Because there's a few that I'm kind of messing around with a wee bit, to be honest with you, to get them in. I think Cleland's going to kill me for putting Martin in the midfield, but I have to get her in somewhere. For me, you what?
As long as she's in, I don't mind.
Oh, she's in. Oh my goodness, the fact that she wasn't in an Irish team, well, she will not even go there. But yeah, so for me, I've been messing around a wee bit with this one. So I have 5 basically. So I had Hannah Grieve, Nadine Graham, Susie Martin, Ruth Forgrave, and Christine Russell. Now I know Ali's going to look at me with Christine Russell and stick her up front. But for me, Hannah Grieve, I suppose I'll start with. Yeah, I mean, Hannah, I had the pleasure of coaching Hannah, and she's one of those. She's got an incredible ability to play hockey at her level with great ease. And there's a frustration there because many a time I wanted to kill her to go a wee bit quicker. But I think there's very few women at the minute have a range of passing like Hannah Grieve, and I think her range of passing, certainly for someone so young, and how she could manipulate a hockey ball, and how she, you know, kind of controls a game a little bit for someone so young. So Hannah Grieve is in there for me. Nadine Graham, again, I've went Pegasus, but Nadine Graham for me, I think, is one of the most underrated players of the last 20 years in Irish hockey. She chose that, so I'll not kill her for that. But yeah, I think having the pleasure of playing with Nadine and indeed coaching her, I've never met a girl that plays within herself so much. But my goodness, when she turned it on, she was something to behold. She always wanted to be a right wing, so it was actually quite difficult to get Nadine into the right back position and not tell her to move anywhere. But yeah, she's an incredibly talented girl, and she's such a quiet. She's one of my best mates, but she's just like when she speaks, you listen. She uses her words so well on a hockey pitch, and you know, I think that was a wonderful thing about Nadine when you played with her. That if she said something, you really did listen. She'd also kill you if you didn't listen. But you know, she's an incredibly talented tackler, reading of a game, and just when she spoke, you listen. Ruth Forgrave for me. There you are, Bridget. She's in.
You picking 3?
I'm allowed 3. 2.
2.
2. Oh, that's 4.
You picked 2.
Oh God.
You mentioned 5 there, but if you had a top 2, what would the?
No pressure.
Oh, I'm gonna go Dino. I'm gonna go Nadine Graham.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go for age. I'm gonna put Mark in the midfield. I'm gonna go Ruth Forgrave. There you are. My biggest nemesis, Ruth Forgrave, is a sweeper for Ballymoney.
Probably in terms of longevity, maybe as well.
Yeah, I think Ruth had a fantastic way to play a hockey match, and certainly for someone that played in the same position as myself, I always admired the way she controlled the game. I always admired the battles that we had, and I thought the way that she controlled certainly a very talented Ballymoney side for many a year, I thought was admirable. And the way she conducted herself both on and off a pitch, I think, was admirable as well. And with Ruth, what you saw is what you got. And, you know, she was very, was, I wouldn't say outspoken, but I thought she was. She carried herself so well in a side like Ballymoney that had many a star in those days, and you know, I thought as for longevity, yeah. I mean, for me, I thought she was one of the best going.
Okay, so we've Nadine there and Ruth.
Nadine,
Bridget?
a bit long-winded there, Shirley, but sure, Nadine and
All
Ruth.
right, we'll get there.
Okay, well, the name to them, I'm totally willing to take the abuse from the committee that I'm going to get, or the panel that I'm going to get for this. But for me, I can't look past two Ballymoney players. Sorry about that. As Arlene said, Ruth Sutherland, she is now, she was Ruth Forgrave. For me, has been a huge part of my hockey, to be honest, over the years. I don't think there's a team in Ulster that has played against Ruth that wouldn't know who she is on the pitch. She was such a key player in the centre of defence. She had a big hit. Boy, she could hit the ball like a bullet. And obviously was a huge asset in attacking penalty corners and scored a lot of goals from that. Her communication on the pitch, having played in front of her for many, many years, I mean, there's just no one like her in the way she can talk you through the game in front of her. And she was just fearless. She had an unbelievable tackle, still does. The most amazing reverse stick flat tackle. I don't know if any of you remember, but a player will think they're past her, and at the last second she'll pull out this flat stick reverse stick tackle, which you know, not many people have that skill. 99% time would have come out with the ball in a tackle. So you know, just so many strengths, and for me, just a real role model. Just a good person who could have played Ireland. Probably would have played Ireland, but through her own personal choice, you know, she opted out of that experience. So she's an absolute must for me. And the other one is, of course, Susie. Arlene put her in midfield, but to me, she's definitely the defender at the back. Again, a lot of skills similar to Ruth in terms of her distribution. Susie had a great ability just to find a pass and to find a difficult pass. Again, flat stick, good tackler. Very few people got past her, to be honest.
Is that the Joey Dunlop, or is that the tackling ability?
Somebody said the Joey Dunlop. I'm glad. I'm trying to mind to pick two Ballymoney players like Bridget. Well, I was being a wee bit middle of the road, like, you know.
No, so those are my two, Ruth and Susie, both great leaders on the pitch, and yeah, I just can't look past them. I do agree with Arlene on Nadine Graham too, but if I had two, those would be my two.
Okay, Ali?
I think we're all kind of singing on the same hymn sheet with all the players we've said, and I wouldn't disagree with any of that. Those are probably the best defenders we've mentioned. But the two I picked them because I thought Bridget would pick those two at centre back. So I went for someone, well, the two I picked, I believe, can play anywhere across the back four. But I really picked the right and left back, to be honest. And I've gone for Nadine and Hannah. Nadine, I always thought Nadine was a really good player, but I didn't know how good she was until I turned up to coach Pegasus. Absolutely awesome, you know. As Arlene said, very unassuming, just got on with it. A very, very intelligent player. Defensively, great tackler. Absolutely brilliant in one-on-one situations. And knew when to step in front of players, knew when to step off, that kind of thing. Really, really bright. But what really impressed me about her was her athleticism to get up and down the right flank, almost like a wing back in football. You know, get up there just to support players and maybe to help create an overload. And I actually think people didn't realise how athletic Nadine was, you know, and probably the fitter she was, the better she was.
Nadine didn't realise how athletic she was either, Ellen.
I'm sure, you know, her fitness kind of went up and down, you know, but when she was fit, she was good. So she's my first one. My second one, sort of agree with all the things Arlene said about her. She's got everything in her game. can ball transfer brilliant, can pick a pass, intelligent, and that probably comes from the fact that she plays more than one sport. You know, but she's got everything in her game. But as Arlene said, will she ever rate her potential? We don't know. But really comfortable on the ball and another intelligent player. And Hannah could probably play along anywhere in the back four as well. And I do believe that her and Nadine could also slot into midfield.
Yeah.
So I picked those for those reasons, and really I was looking at them to play right and left back in there to get up and down the pitch.
All right, brilliant. Okay, Robbie?
Well, I'd probably fly the flag for Lurgan, and I would say Charlene Hull. She's been, whenever I first went into the club, she was brilliant, like to talk to, and still is, even though she dropped the captaincy role a couple of seasons ago. She's still really admired by all the girls and really respected, and myself as well, and mentor, and so we would talk quite a bit about things at times. On the pitch is phenomenal. Like she had a baby, came back this season and was just so good right from day one again. Trains really hard, demands a lot of everybody. Strong competitor, really strong, and obviously she's very good on the ball. The only thing she doesn't have is an aerial. Her distribution, though, is really good. She's improved, I think, even recently, and actually on the ball is more happy on the ball now and will carry it a lot further and so on. Marshals the defence really well, good tackler, reads the game really, really well. I actually had a couple of the girls that have been mentioned already sort of agreed with Hannah in, because again I think just she could play anywhere there along the back. Distribution is terrific, and again, like she's got a very good aerial and so on. Maybe communication wise not as strong at times, but she again reads the game, carries the ball well. I also had Nadine in. I've been a big admirer of hers. Like whenever she was playing ones and so on, I've seen her down in Lurgan playing for the 2s and 3s, and she just is relentless, you know, and she's just somebody that you sort of say to whoever's taking the 2s and 3s, this is the player you need to watch, because she plays the ball simple, but it's still like her athleticism to get up and down the pitch and her work rate and so on, and even just watching her now with younger players and so on, and instilling the same sort of thing into them. So yeah, I would say if I had to pick two, it'd be Charlene and Nadine, definitely.
Okay, so we need to pick 4 of those. So I'm assuming Nadine will be 1 because she's had votes across the board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charlene Hull has been mentioned by Robbie. Ruth has been mentioned twice. Susie Martin, and then Hannah Grieve as well. I don't think we've touched on anyone else apart from that. So we'll put Nadine in definitely. Is Ruth a definite?
I'd have to say as well, Ruth has been excellent. Like, and seeing her whenever we've been playing them, like she's somebody you identify whenever you're trying to attack them, to try and get at them, that she's probably going to mop things up and tidy things. And also, you don't want to give away corners against her, you know, because she is lethal with them.
Yeah. Okay, so we would go then with Nadine and Ruth as definites, and then we've between Susie Martin, Hannah Grieve, and Charlene Stewart as our last 2 between 3. So any strong feelings amongst them? Hannah Grieve, maybe
I think Hannah, maybe in terms of getting up, if you want to put her at left back for me, in terms of getting up and down the pitch.
Yep, okay.
She does that slightly better maybe than Charlene and Susie.
Yeah, that's why I stuck her.
Okay, well that's good. We've got Nadine, Ruth then, and Hannah. So between Susie Martin, what's Susie's married name?
Snedden.
Seven.
Yeah.
Between Susie and Charlene then, fight it out between the other centre back position. Any strong feelings?
It would be
For me,
Susie for me.
I'll take this off Bridget. I'll take this off Bridget and wear my Ballymoney hat for a minute. And the Pegasus. I had the pleasure of Susie obviously at Pegasus as well, and I think as well as Ruth, as I said, you know, that Ballymoney side that went on, I think she was incredibly underrated as a player. She was probably for me in there with Nadine at being underrated.
Okay.
And for me, certainly, she's someone that you could very easily build a team around.
Okay.
So for me, it would be Susie Martin.
So, Bridge, you and Arlene are both with Susie. What about you, Ali? Any thoughts between Susie or Charlene?
I think Charlene, I take on board what Robbie said, and he's absolutely right. Charlene's a really good player, but I think I would have to go with Susie as well.
Okay.
In terms of what she brings. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, we have our back four then. We even have two outside halves, which is great. And two out and out centre backs as well. Okay, perfect. So we'll move on to our midfield line. So 3 midfielders. So Bridge, we'll start with you for this one. Give me your 2 midfielders.
Bridget is 11, so see how we go here.
Okay, I find this one quite difficult actually. Couldn't think of any Ballymoney players, Arlene. So
Right.
So I'm actually, yeah, a lot of them that I had thought of, I found out they had been capped. So I put it down to 2, and the first one I actually went for Sarah McClure, obviously Lurgan. I've had the privilege of marking Sarah on quite a number of occasions the last few years, and I certainly have a lot of respect for the ability of the player that she is. I think in more recent times in Ulster, with the Premier League, you know, she's won Ulster Player of the Year, I think 3 times, Robbie, if I'm correct.
Yeah, the last 3, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's had a lot of success with Lurgan, and obviously is captain and a team leader there, and has been very effective for the club. So you know, it's hard to look past that really in recent times. From playing against her, you know, her level of stick work, her elimination skills, and her ability to score goals. I mean, she certainly was someone that was very wary of, not to give space and time playing against her, and I think a lot of teams recognise that. So Sarah McClure for me would be an addition, and the second player I've gone for, and maybe slightly different than a lot of the players we've talked about already, is Katie Larmour. Katie really has impressed me just as a young player. I know she trained with the Irish team surely at one stage, did she, before she headed off to America to study. Certainly I would have noted her for really just her physicality. You know, she was a real powerful athlete. She noted for her change of pace, her ability really to burst forward with the ball. So, you know, the skills, maybe just a youngster and still has a lot to offer, unlike a lot of the players maybe we've already talked about, like Ruth, Susie. Maybe she could have featured for Ireland. Maybe she could have featured in the World Cup. Who knows? Unfortunately, I think injury rule her out in the end. Maybe so.
Yeah, she did ACL.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's a player I wanted to throw into the mix. I thought it was worth discussion with a lot of potential maybe for the future too. So that would be the 2 I would put forward for midfield.
Perfect. Ali?
I had 3 actually, but one of them is now gone because we put her in the back 4. So like Arlene, I was considering Susie Martin in at centre mid, but obviously now she's in the team. So my other 2 were exactly the same as Bridget. Sarah McClure, who I had privilege coaching at under 18 level and was just an absolutely class act. I don't even think Sarah knows how good she is or how good she could be. Some of the things she brings to the game, I mean, she's brilliant at taking the ball off the back four. She's great vision. As Bridget said, her skill set, her elimination skills are really, really good. But what I really liked about her was she was able to ghost into these positions. You know, she just turned up in there. And I remember under 18 level, she certainly was up there with the likes of Pinder and Chloe Watkins, you know. And I don't know where she lacked confidence, but when Sarah played, we played. And I don't think she realised how good she is. But Bridget also said about her ability to score goals, and that was another one of her strengths. She could get forward to become that fourth forward, and she certainly knew how to find the back of the net. So she makes it in for me. The other one is Kitty Larmour as well, just in terms of what Bridget said there. Her skill on the ball, her athleticism, her change of pace, and for me, I think she could probably play right or left midfield in terms of driving forward. When I first came across Katie, she was actually a centre back. She liked to play that free role of bringing the ball out, and her distribution was first class. So she's my second midfielder. So.
Perfect. All right, Robbie?
Yeah, well, Sarah, I think everybody's sort of said about it, and just she really doesn't know how good she is, I don't think. And I've mentioned her with Sharpie whenever he was in charge on that. You just sometimes wonder, you know, is it confidence or that there is something at times with her, but she's been fantastic. And whenever I first went to Lurgan, people said about her defensive work and so on, but she's been superb and is a real byline to byline sort of player, and leads by example. Not the most vocal captain, but certainly puts in a lot of work because she's coached juniors at the club. You know, the younger ones really respect her and so on. But my goodness, she is just a game changer at times. She really is. Like everybody said about the goals and so on, she's come up with some big goals for us at times, and just drifts in a position you don't expect her to be in. And even whenever teams put double team her and stuff, she comes out. Her skills are phenomenal. Like I don't play in training anymore because I'm fed up being turned inside out by her, like so I am. So, the other one I went for, Tori Hastings from Queens. Like I think Tori's been playing for Queens as long as I've been coaching at Lurgan, and has been, I think, terrific. Anytime I've seen her in other games, watching Queens maybe before we had played them, and also then whenever we're playing them, she would be sort of key player, obviously, to try and stop or monitor. But she's just terrific, and seeing the video clips of her doing her physical training in the gym and so on, and what she does, and how hard she works on that, I think she's been excellent. I know she obviously played a bit indoor for Ireland and so on, but I think it's only probably a matter of time potentially before she maybe makes it into the Irish squad or that. She can score goals, she beats players, she's very strong in the ball, very, very strong competitor. I think actually talking to Shanky one time about her, she actually started as a defender, and now everybody else, we sort of see her more as a forward or a midfielder. I put her into midfield because I just think the last couple of seasons she's been playing there, and she's had more of an impact on games for them. And has probably shown a bit of distribution and so on. But again, probably like Sarah, she can hurt teams from deep as well, carrying the ball and playing 1-2s and getting in there. So those would be my two.
Okay, great. And Arlene?
Yeah, I mean, I have Sarah McClure, so I think we're all unanimous in that one. And I think everything has been said about her. I always thought that she was someone that just simply controlled a hockey match, and did it so well and so unassuming. I think there's a thread coming through here. If you're unassuming, you know what you're doing. Yeah, I think with Sarah, she just played her hockey and packed her bag and went home. And I always admired people that played their hockey like that, just to go out and play hockey hard, good, hard, clean, sometimes hockey. And I admired that about Sarah, and I still do. The other one for me that hasn't been mentioned, and again, I'm going to put my Pegasus hat on and say Kirsty McCollum. For me, I think, again, she was one of the most underrated midfielders going, but Kirsty chose that. She had a wonderful way of playing a game. Her left to right drag was something that I think fooled many as a person, and her ability to break a wrist and cross a ball from left midfield to right wing was something that I know it certainly helped us as a team and pulled a lot of players apart with it. And she was also one of the ones that probably, certainly from a corner point of view, she was involved in a lot of corners for Pegasus as well, and that reverse. Probably before a lot of people were doing the diving in and the reverse, Kirsty was in there. So for me, I think the way she conducted herself, she was a hard competitor, terrible bloody trainer, but when she needed to, she pulled it out of the bag, and she still, for me, had one of the quickest left to right drag I think I've seen in a long time, and she just, for me it was Kirsty McCollum.
Swati would be proud of her.
Yeah, it is it's a skill that a lot of women hockey players think they have, and they don't. It's that quick movement, the drop of the shoulder. Everybody does. You see people starting with a ball and the move left to right, left to right, left to right. But you put it in a game and see if you can do it. And it's a skill that I think that just needs to go back to learning. And before I get on my high horse, it's Kirsty McCollum.
Okay, cool. Well, I think we're pretty unanimous about Sarah McClure, so she'll definitely slot in there. And then we have Katie Lorimer, Tori Hastings, and Kirsty McCollum. So I suppose we need to choose 2 out of 3 of those. Katie Lorimer got 2 votes, so anybody in disagreement that she shouldn't pop in there?
No, I think Katie, again, like as was said, she's powerful, very strong. Could probably play a variety of positions there, but definitely very, very solid, works really hard, carries a big threat from midfield as well, attacking wise, and corners and so on too.
Great. Okay, so we'll pop her in then. So then we have between Tori and Kirsty. So Robbie, you said about Tori, and Arlene, you said about Kirsty. So maybe Bridget or Ali, you have any thoughts there?
You want to go, Arlene or Ali?
Got me now? Yep.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm here. Sorry,
did you hear me there? Sorry. So we just said Bridget or Ali, any thoughts between Tori or Kirsty?
That's a tough one.
It's a really tough one, actually.
It is, yeah. 2 different types of player,
Yeah, they're very different. I mean, I had Tori up front.
I was looking at Tori up front as well, to be honest. You're
struggling for forward. You're struggling for forward. I had Tori up front.
Well, for me, I would know both of these players quite well. I mean, Kirsty, I played a lot with sort of through the years, and Tori actually played with us at Ballymoney for some time. It's interesting because I would think of Tori having played her best hockey, Robbie, as you alluded to, as a defender. She would have played right back on the Ballymoney team. And I still remember a game she played against Railway Union in Dublin, and she just was outstanding in that game. For me, I thought Tori really would have gone on to do maybe represent at this stage. So I really hope that's to come for Kirsty. I definitely remember the left to right drag, Arlene. I mean, she had really quick hands, and she moved that ball quick. For me, out of the 2 of them, I'd probably be swayed towards Tori, purely because just maybe she has.
I'm glad you said that, Ali.
Purely because I didn't have her up front, so you know I'd be keen for her to feature more, and I do think she has a lot of potential still to come as well. She maybe hasn't has got to her best just yet, so I would probably sway towards Tori on that one. Maybe you disagree, Ali.
No, I think you're right. I think Tori's probably more suited to the game today. I think she's more athletic for sure than what Kirsty was. You know, and I think she probably could find the back of the net better than Kirsty. So I think I'd be tempted to go for Tori as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, we have our midfield three then. So Sarah McNeil, Katie Lorimer and Tori Hastings. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll move on to our forward three. So I think we started with Bridget last time. So Ali, do you want to go ahead with your front three?
Well, I found this to be the hardest one, the forward line, to be honest with you. And the two people I have gone for, the first one is Julie Doak. All right, I've gone for Julie. Longevity. Julie's been around the game for so long, you know. Strong runner with the ball. Hard to tackle whenever she got going. She certainly knows how to find the back of the net, and as soon as she entered that circle, she was looking to score. In fact, I don't think I ever saw Julie score a goal at the back post. You know, everything was Route 1. But her work rate, phenomenal work rate as well. But in fairness, for all those years, I often wondered how good would she have gotten, or would she have got any better if she'd have went to one of the bigger teams, you know? But she stayed loyal to them. But her work rate, she had everything a game, and she's been going for so long now. She probably started like myself on a shield pitch, so she certainly brought some of those skills with her as well. So she's my first one. My second choice is Lucy McKee. All right, Lucy, fast hands on one-on-ones, phenomenal. Hard to shake off the ball, and like Julie, when she crosses that circle, she just wants to hit it. What I really liked about her was when she was in a circle, and especially a crowded circle, she had the ability to move the ball and give herself a yard of space to find the back of the goal. Bottom corner, top corner, you name it. Absolutely brilliant. And when she got going with it, she really was hard to tackle. Now, in saying that, there's areas of the pitch you'd like to have seen her have less touches on the ball, for want of a better, to put that very tactfully.
That's very dramatic, Ali. It's not like you.
I know. She might be watching this. So yeah, look, knows how to find the back of the net, you know, and yeah. So she's my second player.
Perfect.
That's my two.
Robbie?
Yeah, I actually have those two of Julie, who I know from having worked with, and just what she brought, you know, to the girls at Ulster teams and finishing, and like to see her doing some stuff at times in shooting drills and so on. And from what I've heard more, I didn't really see her playing very much, but I just knew she was always way up in the goal scoring tallies, and you can really rely she's going to be scoring every week, sort of thing. And again, just I would say I'm probably glad I've never had to mark her, unlike some of you probably, but the fact that if it was moving in the circle, it probably was going towards the net, that sort of way. Also at Lucy, because I saw her at Armagh when I was coaching their men, and she scored bucket load of goals, and I think she did the same at Lurgan for a season or two, and just still scoring goals and big goals. Skill wise, terrific, and can't, you know, he doesn't seem to be, you can tackle her really, and again just able to work space to maybe win corners and that as well. So I actually had the same at those two, so I did as well actually as two of my three.
Okay, perfect. Arlene?
This is going to be easy. Julie. Robbie, you're right. Having played against her, she was really annoying. Is the only way you could describe Julie Doak.
Quite the compliment.
Really, really annoying in the nicest possible way to play against. She was so unorthodox, and she was an old school forward for me. And you know, to give away, I'm sure, a secret of a defender, they hate it when people run at you. And Julie just ran straight for you. There was no left or right drag or anything in Julie's game. It was just downright get into the circle, as Ali said, and I think yourself, Robbie. It's just get into the circle and shoot. And 9 times out of the 10, it hit the goalkeeper on the way back out. You know, she'd such a powerful hit, but she was just old school, and I think it's underrated. You know, just going at a defender, and Julie was really spectacular at doing that, and getting her rewards for it, because she unnerved so many defence. Certainly unnerved me. And like, if I couldn't get near her, I just brought her down and helped her up. Because you get in the circle and you were praying that, in my day anyway, Donna Hawthorne, God rest her, and or Sharon Moffat was capable of saving the goal. But yeah, Julie Doak for me. I did have Christine Russell up there, but Ali will shout at me, so I'll leave her out. Yeah, I have Lucy McKee. I've thought long and hard about this one, to be honest. But yeah, I had Lucy. I think there's still an awful lot going for Lucy. I think you know, she's an incredibly talented, quick hands, reads a game, would kill you to get the ball. And that's something that, you know, we've talked about the way Julie played her hockey. I think Lucy has it as well, and that if she takes you into the back of the net with the ball, well, then so be it. And I think that's a great trait in a forward. And with Lucy, yeah, I'll probably not be as diplomatic as Ali, but if she looked left or right, she could do an awful lot more. But yeah, she's a talented girl, and hopefully just not finishing yet.
Okay, brilliant. All right, we need a third forward here, Bridget. So any of your number there you can throw out.
Christine Russell. Sorry. What?
Well, I totally wholeheartedly agree with Julie Doak. I mean, she was top of my list too. I mean, Julie is just a really great sportswoman, isn't she? You know, she's highly respected by her teammates, her opposition, everyone really that works with her, and just her knowledge of the game just always really impressed me. As Arlene said, she really is, to me, an old school sort of real use of the hitting game, and had such a lovely hit. A real eye for goal, and as it's been said before, just really clinical in the circle. There was only one thing she was prepared to do, and that was to hit the ball. And yeah, one thing that always just really impressed me was the length of her reach and the length of her stride. Maybe that was just compared against me, but I seem to take about 4 steps for every one she took. So, you know, in terms of her,
she's about 7 feet tall, Bridget. So like.
Julie definitely for me is a cert. I'm going to throw two more names in then, just to mix things up, since we seem to only have 2. So I'm going to revert to my Ballymoney roots again. Say Jessica Lynch. She would have been. She's now Jessica Legg. But when I think of Jessica, I mean, I have this image of her just with her knees cut to bits. And that kind of sums her up, is she was just one of those players that threw herself about a circle, and a quality that not a lot of forwards have, you know, in them. So, you know, she wasn't very tall. She was the height of nothing really, but she was tenacious, she was brave, she was committed. She threw herself at things, a lot of back post sort of deflections, loved just to get a touch on the ball in the circle. So a very different style of player from the likes of Julie. But but just had an ability to find some space in the circle. So that was something I admired about her. And another one I'll just throw in for discussion purposes, really, is Diane Robb. Diane has been around Ulster Hockey for a long time, and a bit like Robbie mentioned with Charlene, has had a family and has come back to play and still continues to play, you know, at a good enough level. Again, had the ability to score goals, and good ball carrier, and just a really good all-round athlete, and again, just, you know, really enjoyed her hockey, and a good player. So just a couple of names that I'll let the panel just.
Okay, perfect. So I suppose we're unanimous about Julie and Lucy then. We've got our two out of the three forward line. So we have then Diane Robb, Jess Lynch, and then Christine Russell was mentioned there once or twice as well. So anyone who didn't nominate either of any of those players want to have any thoughts on anything?
I had Jess Lynch as my third. I was being flippant with Christine Russell. Although I do firmly believe that Christine Russell should be in here somewhere. Yeah. I had Jess Lynch, and I think obviously Bridget, who's played with her, knows her an awful lot better than I would, but my memory of Jess is the cut knees, back post, and it's just, again, annoying to play against, because if you thought you had her, you didn't, and that was your downfall. Because she always had that last little nibble that you didn't think she was going to get. 9 times out of 10, it meant that you were trying to take a ball off a line and she was trying to push you into the back of the net. And yeah, so for me, yeah, Jess Lynch.
Okay, Robbie, anything from you? I think we lost Sally there.
To be honest, I don't know Jess, but I had Diane down as my third, because I'd seen her obviously at Garvey and that, and then more recently at Dungannon, and again, she was somebody who was, to me, quite key, certainly to Dungannon, and I'd say even Garvey, from that ability just to really glide past players, you know, and she just was gone, and the gap just gets wider, and then probably more recently brought a lot of stability to Dungannon there whenever they got up and helped. Probably was a big part of probably helping them find their feet and get points in games they needed to, and so on, and just has gone on and on from there. But it's still some of your, you know, should be some of you're very wary of defensively, of where she is, and just in some ways like Sarah, and by the sound of it like Jess, she can just pop up somewhere, you know, in a really dangerous position and around the circle in particular. But yeah, I had Diane involved there too. She's hard working as well. She's a very honest player from what I've seen.
Okay, so I suppose we need to pick between Jess or Diane. Anyone feel strongly about one or the other, or what do we think?
Between Jess and Diane, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you had anyone else that you.
No, I think somebody mentioned Wilkie at one stage. No, is that a different conversation?
Yeah, I mentioned Sarah Wilkinson previously.
I would probably think of Diane, Jessica. I would probably think Jessica. If I had to pick one, you know. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any thoughts?
No, that's.
Okay, so we've got Jess Lynch there as our, what was her married name? Sorry, Bridget.
Legge, Legge.
Brilliant, Jessica Legge. Okay, perfect. So these are our final four. Well done. We've managed to come to our team. So we have, just to recap, Sharon Moffat in goals, a back four, Nadine Graham, Ruth Forgrave, Susie Martin and Hannah Grieve. Midfield 3, Sarah McClure, Katie Larmer and Tori Hastings. And our forward 3, Julie Doak, Lucy McKee and Jess Lynch. Future Commonwealth Games team, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Controversial.
Wonder who'll coach. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. Well, guys, thank you very much. Anyone want to throw a captain's name into the ring there? Anyone think we have a
Ruth Forgrave, maybe?
Yeah, she'd be good.
Okay, perfect.
What do you think, Bridget?
She's saying nothing there.
I think you know my vote on that.
Okay, brilliant. All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated, and expertise as well. Very valued, and hopefully we get lots of views and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Right, thanks,
Great,
Charlie.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you, bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.